Okay, so hi everyone, welcome back again in the next station, that is analysis and design and definition. A good one, actually good one. Okay, so what the station says actually, the requirement analysis and design definition knowledge unit describe that the task that business analysts perform, structure, organize, requirement, discover during elicitation activity. In simple and the layman perspective, I say this is the place when I am doing my homework. Not before the illustration, after the illustration has been done. I got everything, now I'm analyzing it and creating the design definitions. Kind of a design documentation, I can put it here on the broader perspective. Okay, specify and model requirement and design, that for which requirement which model need to be built. Maybe for something I have to go for the wireframe, something I have to go for the workflows, something I have to go for the scheming kind of things. Then validate and verify the information and identify solution option that met business need. Now let's say in the requirement discussion I got 100 of requirements. I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. At this point of time you're going to be verify and validate how much are actually a required one or valid one, and do we have any business or the solution option for this or not. Sometimes it happens that customer says a lot of things, and later on when I discuss with my technical team, then I come to know a lot of more facts here. Even though in the next talk we're going to go for the assessment as well, but here we can put a estimate potential value, that what I can achieve from this particular solution part here. So now let me go and show you the task here. So this is the number, this is the place where we have to do a lot of tasks. Total 6 tasks as a business analyst we have to do. The first task which it says is that specify and model requirements. Important here. Even though the tasks are small but important. What it says, specify and model requirement. Okay, so the purpose of specifying and model requirement is to analyze, synthesize, and refine illustration results into the requirement design. Means from a lot of English sentences, paragraph, you're going to be specify that what exactly a customer need, what exactly a customer or the stakeholder need from this particular requirement. This is what it says. Specify and the model requirement describe the practice for analyzing illustration results and creating a representation of that particular part. Number 1, when the specifying and modeling activity focus on the understanding the need, output, and refer to the requirement, refer to as a requirement. It means when you're saying, let's say my customer says, Atul, I want a web page. On the web page I need one button this, one button this, I need this option and this option. Okay, this is a lot of things. Now I'm specifying it, that on a single form a customer needs 3 buttons: okay, cancel, and submit. This is what I'm specifying it, and what a customer want to be achieved, what a stakeholder want to be achieved, I'm putting it here as an outcome. Second point, it says when the specifying and model activities focus on the solution, the output as referred to as a design. So now your English words, English sentences are going to be formatted into the some pictorial representation. This is the second point, because now you are defining the designs as well here. It can be any format, maybe linking of the different requirements, one complete requirement have a one flow and kind of things, we can put it here. Second point, verify requirement. Second task is verify requirement. The purpose of verify requirement, again, now the question comes up, we done this part when we communicate it. Yes, we done. But maybe there is a time period gap between communication and the verifying this particular step, I can say. In this part, if I say the purpose of verifying requirement is to ensure that the requirement and the design specification models met the quality standards. This is important. So maybe technical perspective, maybe process perspective, maybe maybe I can say standards perspective. We have to make sure that when I'm building this requirement, I have to make sure that this should meet the quality standards. That is important here. Verify requirement, ensure that the requirements and the design have been defined correctly. Customer need this thing, I am okay with this thing, and I'm building a design on this particular part for this particular things. Requirement verification also includes a check by the business analyst and the key stakeholder to determine that the requirements and design are ready for the validation. So at this point of time, I can say not the solution, but you have some kind of a flows, we have some kind of a design is ready, which we can revalidate. And also it can be work as a re-engineering for us, reverse engineering for us. When I'm seeing the designing, my customer said, no, I want this thing, no, I want this thing. Can you make it correction here? Again, we have to follow the change strategy as well, and provides the information needed for the further work to be performed. Sometimes when we are going for the design verification, requirement verification, then things can be changed, and then we have to go. Third point is the validation. Verification and the validation is something different. Verify what you told, I return, its verification. Validation, let's discuss, is it be actually signed off by you that it has been validated now? The solution you will be agreed on this part. So the purpose of validate requirement is to ensure that all the requirements and the design align with the business requirement. Customer says, I need a button on the form. I verify. In the written English, I verify. But when I'm designing it, it's no, it's not on the form. It's on the website on the top. No, it's not validating the things. So in this part, we have to mainly discuss. We have to mainly concentrate on the business requirement and support the delivery of needed value. Requirement validation is ongoing process. Maybe one requirement you are building, and tomorrow you are building another requirement. Again, we have to do for the revalidation as well, or the revalidation as well. So in this particular part, I can say it's ensure that stakeholder, the solution and the transition requirements align with the business requirement and the design that satisfies the requirement. So at this particular part, the solution which I'm proposed to the customer, proposed to my stakeholder, has been agreed and validated by the customer, and they say, yes, this is what I want to be achieved from this requirement. Also, it says understanding what is desired state. Remember the future state when we see in the last station. Future state, we can say we are validating that. When you implement this solution, I'm going to be look like in the future state like this particular format. And the overall goal for performing this activity is to make sure that customer also agree that what it's going to be in the desired state. So I can say it's a rework, revalidation, reconfirmation, just to make sure that nothing should be break or nothing should be missed out when we are going for the actual solutioning part. Okay, or the deployment or development part, I can say. The next one, that is defined requirement architecture. How the requirements will be taken care, that is important. Okay, so the purpose of this defined requirement architecture is to ensure the requirements collectively support one another to achieve the full objective. If I say, okay, my customer says, Atul, can you implement the ITSM for me? I said, yes, I can implement. But if I'm putting my foundation requirement at the bottom or at the last, I'm not able to achieve that value. So I have to make sure that the architecture should be defined that if you want to start the incident management, then you have to be build at least minimum of the CMDB or minimum of the foundation data so that you can use that part. So in this area, in this particular task, we as a business analyst have to be define the architecture. I am 100% sure we as a business analyst, everybody following the right method, but something has been written as a standard, so we have to be used as well. A requirement architecture fit the individual models and the specification together to ensure all the requirements look like in a single format. So integration, foundation, CMDB, user, group, incident, change, problem, the combined blueprint, I can say it's look like an architecture for me. And business analysts use a requirement architecture to understand which model are appropriate for the domain, solution scope, and audience. If I say, okay, let's say I have a blueprint of my new flat which I'm going to build it. By seeing that blueprint, I can say that how I have to progress in this particular area. The solution scoping, I can say, I can put it here. Organize the requirement into structure relevant to the different stakeholder. Okay, one requirement is for the one person, the other person I can put in the single form, and I can show that your requirement is aligning with the other one, and other one, like this manner. And last, it ensured the requirement work together to achieve our objective. Ultimately, the goal is one, that as a business analyst, I want that my customer should be able to move from as is to the to be process. And these are the things we have to be defined. And the second last is define the design options. How to build that. The purpose of design option is to define the solution approach, not your paperwork. It's a solution approach, that are you going to be use X method or the Y method kind of things, I can say here. Identify opportunity to improve the business. Allocate requirement across solution components and represent design options that achieve the desired state. When we are defining the design options, number one, we have to design the solution. There may be one or more design identified. So like if I take example of the CSGM, a very hot cake in the market from the ServiceNow perspective. It's a very good product launched by ServiceNow. But to implement the CSGM, every company has their own way of using it, or the implementation part specifically, I can say. In a single company, in a single customer, for a single department, there are the multiple ways to implement CSGM. So here we have to be defined that as well. That what method, what design option I'm going to be take it. Each design option represent a way to satisfy the requirement. Okay, by this way I can do, by this way I can do, by this way I can do. Okay, then design option exists at the lower level, other than the change strategy, and they are tactical other than the strategical one. You want to quick win, you can still use the design options and you can do your part as a tactical part, not as a confirmation of the other strategical solutioning here. The last part, which is says here, that analyze the potential value and the recommended solutions here. The purpose of this particular task is to analyze the potential value, that if I use this design, if I use this option, that what value I'm going to be achieved, and on the basis of that I can recommend the different solution as well. I remember there's a article has been I saw on the ServiceNow community, that is customization versus configuration. When the customization required, there are the two things. I have to be understand the business value and the conflict score as well. Once these two have been on the same place, then I can take a decision that what is the right approach, what is the recommended approach for me. And here I can say the purpose of analyze this thing is to estimate the potential value for each design. Now, as I say, that CSGM implementation can be done in the three ways. What is the best way so that I can get the potential, I can get the value, and it is recommended by everybody. This is what we have to be do here. Analyze the potential value and the recommended solution. See, these are the two different words. Value, what I can achieve. Recommended solution is the best way to do that part, to achieve that value. So analyze the potential value and the recommendation, a solution that describe how to estimate the model, the potential value delivered by a set of requirements. It's a little bit complicated, I can say, but it's not tough to do that part. Okay, because when we see the practical stuff, we can easily say, yes, it is the best value and it is the best recommended solution for us. And the last in this area is that the potential value is analyzed many times over a course of change as well. If any change occur, if any new requirement come, maybe the recommended solution or the potential value can be get changed. It's an ongoing process always. New requirement, addition, enhancement on that previous one can change the recommended solution or can change the potential value as well. So now let's come back to our Now Create and see where we can use these things, or we can find out some useful links in the Now Create. Okay, so let me come here. So we're on the same screen now. Let me come here. Yep. So now what we are seeing here is that this one, specify and model requirement, verify requirement, validate requirement, and architecture. So I can say something, we can go on this part. Architecture design, you can define the architecture here. but again it is from the technical perspective. The same thing you can use for the requirement perspective as well. Okay, like creating update solution architecture. Basically, you can say that how the requirements are matching with each other. I have to build up. I can go for this particular part, like how the CMDB is going to be related with the ITSM or the mobile or the service operation workspace. We can define the architecture because it is the solutioning part I am discussing here. Till the time as a business analyst, writing is done. Here the actual technical things come into the picture. So you can or we can use this approach, the defining architecture, we can use it here. Then how I'm going to be do the migration strategy. Maybe my customer demand, I want the transactional data also to be migrated. So I can define the strategy here. So it means if I come here, specify the models, verify the requirement, this part you can still do in the backlog and all the things here. I can say refinement part here. This one you can do at this particular part. Okay, you can easily do that part, refining, estimating. You can do all the final approval, designing, and all the things. You can do it here. Maybe something you can put it here in the execute. Let's say what is the create value. So like governance, build value measurement reports and dashboard, coordinate organization change management. This is what when we're going to be achieve that part when the solution is ready. But still, if you think something can be helpful for me here, we can definitely use it. Or maybe I can see some option in the exit phase. Just a gate meeting, that's all. Nothing is going to be happen here. Let me come back here and let's see few more things which we can use in this domain. So we have defined design options. Let's see. If I go here and let's see, establish technical governance is not required for me. Technical governance we have done. Update architecture we can say here in case something new is coming. You can use access and plan for change. Yes, maybe you can use this as well. Let me take my video here. Yes, workforce transition summary measurement plans. No, it's not with that much good for us. So I can say mainly on this part that things which we already discussed, like few of the workshops, documentation, or the templates we can use here. If you find for this architecture perspective, you can definitely go for the technical discussions, technical parts we can pick up on this particular area. Otherwise, multiple things options are there. Planning approach we can say, or the release and sprint planning we can say, all the things we can put it here, no doubt. Okay, so with this, let me take a break here again and let's connect in the next session very soon. Take care. Bye.